Hello everyone, this is your host, the French Panda, here again to entertain you with the first video of the Snûn series, where we'll attempt to dominate the Eastern Peninsula, like I had talked about in the intro. Now, you might have not watched the intro for various reasons. If you're not interested in world history and world building, that's totally okay. But if you haven't watched it by mistake, I highly suggest you that you go watch it. It has some key elements on understanding the world and its civilization, and will really help in enjoying this playthrough. So here we are in the Dwarf Fortress. Now, before beginning, I want to talk about what assets I'll be using. I'll be using Dwarf Therapist to work out the my dwarf's work order, because that makes it so much easier. It's incredible. And I'll also be using gem set, which is a really interesting tile set. So now that this is um, taken care of, I will now browse this peninsula and come back to you when I've found the ideal spot. Alright, here we are back again in the bridge of land between the main continent and the peninsula. As you can see right here, we are positioned right in the frontier, if you want, between wilderness and civilization. So what this means is that we will be quite close to the easternmost elven population, some human civilization, so we'll have some trade available. We'll be really far from the dwarves, so I'm not expecting much from them, but we will still be experimenting the tough and rough wilderness that is the climate of the eastern peninsula. So this is where we'll settle. So for the sake of survival, I will be choosing to prepare carefully. So you can see here we have lots of points left, and I kind of know what I want to do as a fortress. You know, this will be the first contact that most visitors and adventurers will have with the eastern continent. So we will want a glorious fortress that is visible from lands from everywhere, if you want. Okay? So something that, yes, delves deep into the ground and is magnificent underground, but also a structure um, on the land. So what we will want for that is we'll need a lot of rocks. So we will take a couple of miners. We'll also need quite a good wood industry, since we'll be right in the jungle and it will be really hot. We'll also need a couple of grower just to keep us living with those mushrooms. Yeah, let's put him as proficient grower, just so we have the best quality of product. All right. Then I'll make a brewer here. Will also be, yeah, just a brewer for now. That will be enough. We'll also take a fisherman, since we settle near a river. That will give us a plenty fish to survive the early stage. So now we have quite a classic composition, if you may, which doesn't really bother me. It's what we do with that is important. What I feel is really important here, though, is making a trapper. Because we will be settling in somewhere with lots of dangerous creature. So I want someone who can train animals and take care of them. You know? So that we can literally tame the eastern continent and its dangerous beasts. So, yeah, that's it for the dwarves. Now, let's take a look at the items. We will want yeah, those two copper pigs, those battle axe, those are all classic stuff. Yeah, that's way enough seeds. But what I desire more than anything is starting with a couple of animals and seeds. So first off, we will go ahead and take care of the seeds. So we will be embarking with 20 tomatoes and 20 strawberries because by using them, we'll get some seeds that we'll be able to plant around the fortress. I want to develop some complicated vegetable industry for this fortress. I think it's a good idea. But another things that I really want to do is start with a couple of what are they called? Yeah, goats. Yeah, I want some goats to yeah, they're just around here. I want a nanny goat, that is the female, and I want a billy goat, and make that two of each. That way we'll be able to produce more goats offsprings and make some goat cheese. And I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love goat cheese, so that's just really cool. Apart from that, I think what I want more, maybe let's take a look. I think we could do with a couple of dogs. Yeah, let's take 4 dogs on our expedition so that we won't be completely in danger if anything happens. Now, what I want other than that, uh, maybe another battle axe. We will be in a dangerous place. Having weapons early on is a great thing. And just to complement it, I think we will boost the number of seeds that we have for our underground plantation. All right, here we are in the choose name for our fortress. That's the most important part. Let me think about it a bit. So here we are. I think I've found quite a satisfactory name. Savageland of Festival. Nogalesh near Corsid. Now, my reasoning behind that is that we are settling in the Savage Land, and since we're gonna be part of the civilization of the Syrups of Time, who are a civilization that reveres festivals and seasons, I think it's just fitting that festival be part of our civilization fortress name. And now for the name of the group that will be embarking, it's the Conqueror of Savagery, because we will be doing exactly that. We'll be cleansing the eastern land of its savage population that breaks the flow of the population wanting to settle there. Sug Araz will be the name of our group. Now for our symbol, I have named it the Breaker of Monster, and I will now show you what it entails. It consists of an image of a forest titan, 2 dwarves and 2 spears. The 2 dwarves are raising the 2 spears, and the forest titan is impaled on the 2 spears. It symbolizes how we will destroy the enemies that shall try to destroy our fortress in the coming future. That will be our symbol. So that's it for the embark screen. I will be meeting you guys in the flavor text before we actually get to explore our map. Now, you have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your arch trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Udibashok. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are accepting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it's spring now. Enough time to dwell secure lodging ere the giant alligators get hungry. Oh, a giant alligator, that is dangerous. A new chapter of dwarven history begin ere at this place. Noglesh near Corsid, savage land of festival. Strike the herd. Let's get going. Let's show us that map. I am quite excited. For real. Like this, I have good feelings about this place. Alright, so here we are in the place of our embark. So, As you can see, it's lots of grasslands, lots of tree. If we go down a Z level, we can see a small river at the corner of the map. We will be using that, and we can see that we are standing on a hill. Now that's interesting. We may use that to our advantage, because some of those spots looks like they are easily defendable, and we want that for the beginning of our fortress. Like if we go down here, um, there are some narrow passages, you know. So what is that? Almond tree roots. Oh, so almonds go really high. Yeah, it's. I'd like you to imagine that we have just settled into a region similar to the Amazon. That is how savage this is. How covered in trees it is. So, first order of business, coming back to our place, is to examine what is around. So there are no creature yet. I have no doubt that this will happen pretty soon. We have the water buffalo and the classic horse. We have our 2 goats and our four dog. And we have our 7 um, dwarves. So let's take a look at our expedition leader. Orist Tickertroder, Bookbald. The creative impulse is so valuable. She is a 61 years old worshipper of Dusim, the fortress of Cradling. Interesting. She is tall and fat, her hair is clean shaven, she has very little cheekbones, and she has a deeply recessed chin. Slightly thin iris, heliotrope eyes are close set. Her eye are broad, her ears, are broad. Her lips are thin. Her eyelashes are quite long. Her nose is slightly hooked. Her nose bridge is somewhat concave, and her hair is dark taupe. Her skin is dark brown. Okay, she likes platinum, silver, bloodstone, the side of quiescence of playing. When possible, she prefers to consume peach eater. Alright, alright. So she is quite an interesting dwarf. And she is our leader. She is the one that is our fisher. That's interesting. So our fisher is our expedition leader. I will remember that she's also a good musician. If we look at that, she's a good keyboardist, singer. She also can dance. So she can accomplish much things. First off, I want to, let's bring up the overlay. I want to chop down some trees at the beginning. And while doing that, I'll take a look at our woodworker. Let's take a look. He's a worshipper of Dusim, the fortress of Cradling 2. He is 81 years old. He is tall but has quite ill-defined muscle. His sideburns are clean-shaven. His very long mustache is neatly combed. His very long beard is braided. His hair is clean-shaven. He has heliotrope eyes too. Is that a characteristic of the people here? Yes, okay, so apparently the people of the Syrups of Times have heliotrope eyes, with, which is quite an interesting fact. Now we want our miners to mine, so let me just set up a couple of things and and you'll be able to see what are our plans for now. So there we have it. I have decided on a spot that is interesting to make an entrance. As you can see, it's pretty narrow, so we'll be able to make a wall or something around here to protect our dwarves. I've set up a 3x5 stairs that goes down deep into the earth, so we can carve out something, get some rocks, etc. Actually, I'll even make it go lower than that because, well, why not? Alright, let's do that, and I'll go as low as minus 30 stuff downside. And let's unpause the game and see what our dwarves are doing. So the miners and woodworkers are picking up their equipment while our expedition leader is going up to fish. Our planter and brewer don't have any job yet. That's understandable and totally fine. Yeah, they don't have much to do yet. We will also be setting, while we wait for our miners to do stuff, we will be setting a little pasture area just around here, so that our horse and buffalo and goats won't die from not eating, you know? So all the goat and the horse and the buffalo cow. And here we are. And right near the entrance to our fortress, we will be putting our dogs. So they will guard us against the first threat that might menace us. Eventually, when we have more dogs, we will actually be training them for war. So let's take a look at one of those dogs. Incredibly muscular. Hair is chestnut, ears are cream, his tail is chestnut, his hair is dark chestnut, light brown, paws are black, skin is dark brown, his eyes are green. So, fairly interesting. Now, our dwarves will hold the animals to their pasture spot, which is quite good. So while our dwarves were mining, they came across this great cavern right here. So we were mining downward and bam, we found this cavern. But a most impressive thing is we found this magma pool right down there. Now, why is that interesting? It's because it's so damn deep. Like, it goes 40 levels down. Which, yeah, it might be really dangerous, but one thing that we can use this magma for is fueling magma forges, glass furnaces, so that basically we will never, and I say never, have to worry ourselves about charcoal and coal and making coke out of them to facilitate the things. So what we will want to do is circle around those stairs, lower ourselves down into that cavern, because it is fairly interesting. It's pretty open-ended, and there's lots of stuff down here. Probably some bees that we can tame. Now let's take a look. There's a couple of ravens up in the airs, but that's pretty much it for now. So yeah, what I want to do here is circle around. Here we go. Just here. And that is plenty enough. Then we will make yeah, let's actually do that on a 5x5 basis. Make a little bit of a hall around those stairs so that people can just pass right through them. All right. Like that. Here we go. All right. That's not equal. I'm really feeling uncomfortable here. All right, let's make them stairs. So we will do right. We'll get right to that. 5x3, and we will go right down to here. And we will make this passageway right here before cutting down the various well, cutting isn't really the word, but mining down anything in this big courtyard near the magma, so that what will happen is that we'll be able to really build some things around here, around this spot. So yeah, and up here there are places that seem to connect to other caverns, but we won't worry about that too much right now. What we will worry about is not getting too close to the magma, because it is pretty dangerous. So what I'll do is build a wall around it with a little bit of a courtyard around the magma for those that will work with it. But we will take care of that later on when the miner have finished their jobs. See you then. So, something happened and I decided to set up a first little farm, because in the caverns that we found, I didn't see, yeah, there's some water, of course, but setting up an efficient farm, in my opinion, would be a tad bit complicated when we have so little dwarfs. So eventually what I will do is use this water to flood a room that I will have created to make a comfy little farm. But for now, I want my farmer and brewer to focus their work here, there will be a little seed area just here so they can stock them up. There's a still just here. I will also make, yeah, right now I'll make a farmer workshop. It's, yeah, W right here to process the different things that we will have. I've also set up a wood stockpile just outside of the entrance of the future fortress, so that when we need to move it into the fortress, we won't have to go all the way across the map. Our expedition leader is still fishing. Things are going good. Things are going good. And I'll come back to you guys when we've cleared out this whole area. So while they were working, the miner were attacked by a voracious cave crawler, who I managed to kill by bending the 7 dwarves into a military force. And unfortunately, it did a couple of damage on some of the dwarves, like this. Well, he's called militia commander now because I appointed him, but yeah, our lower left arm is cut open. This one, its upper body, left upper arm, left hand, his heart is bruised. And since we don't have any medical facilities, it's gonna be a bit rough the coming future, you know? So yeah, I'm just gonna can I just yeah, I'll just appoint the expedition leader for now, because I don't want my miners to fight too much. But yeah, so what's it called? The cave is coming right along. I've put up some I had put out some carpenter shop that were just completely destroyed by the beast, which isn't so bad. I'll build them again. I've built a wall around the magma pool, and it should be safe in a couple of minutes, so see you there. We now have a visitor, a human bowman. You have come from far, my friend. You have come from faraway lands. Well, he's probably a monster slayer. Who has come here to. Oh, it's a woman. Should have assumed that. She probably has come to slay some monster in the caverns that we've unearthed. A medium-sized creature prone to great ambition. Her hair is extremely long. She has a high squeaky voice. Her somewhat splayed out ears have nearly fused lobes. Her nose is quite long. Her head is extremely tall. Her quite long eyebrows are quite dense. Her hair is pale brown. Her skin is pale pink. Her eyes are green. Well, welcome to the fortress, Zoku Nikomagal, the human bowman. Oh boy, sounds like there's another voracious cave crawler right here going to assault our brewer. I don't know how it got there, but without the openness from the cave, it's inevitable that monster will come through. On another note, it is now summer, so that's great. But let's watch how this fighting ensues. So now we have our farmer and our brewer equipping and attacking the monster. They are a bit wounded. They're fighting. The monster is trying to get away. Let's follow it. Oh, and it's dead. Congratulations, you beautiful fighters. I don't think they've been too harmed by the situation. Yeah, it sounds like it was a pretty... Okay, yeah, no, it bit them a couple of times, but it doesn't look like there's anything major that has happened. So, good thing. So the human bowman was indeed willing to join our fortress for monster slaying. So welcome to the Savageland of Festival, Zoku critter knowing. You have been accepted. Now, would you look at that? I think the Monster Slayer in our adventure throughout the cavern unearthed a tribe of old men and women. As I told you, it is normal that in this peninsula, we will find a lot of animal men, and there are some prime example, although quite ugly. Let's take a look at one. An animal person with the head of the amphibious olm. It lives underground near water, and this one is very fat, skin is white, and eyes are black. There are blowgunners and spearmen, and they are clearly hostile, so we'll need to keep that in check. They aren't that far from the fortress, like they could technically just come down and attack us if they desired, but they don't look like they want to move. So we'll use that to our advantage and just clear them out eventually. Alright, now that the cavern courtyard, quote unquote, is finished, we will be able to actually make some structure around there. So I've already put up 2 carpenter workshops to replace the one who were destroyed. Here would be a rock stockpile, while we have a wood stockpile here. We're removing the ramp so nobody goes trotting around. We need to make some door. I've put up a garbage spot. You've just seen a dwarf dump something that got burnt in the magma. This will be your general stockpile, while we will make sure to actually make lots of crafts dwarf workshop as soon as we get some new migrants so that they can work as best as they can. So that's pretty much it. I've made some bed orders so that we can build a dormitory, and I think that I'll build this dormitory not that on the same level that we are. I'm thinking I want it to be a bit more private, so I think I'll build a little alleyway just here, and then go down a couple of level, and then we will make a little rectangle shaped room. We will make it as aesthetic as possible to please the dwarves. Here we go. And we'll put the first dormitory right here so that dwarves can enjoy a peaceful and quiet nights when they are tired. Alright, the walls are done. When I get some mason in the fortress, we will make some rock doors protecting us from the lava. Another plan, well, let me show you the farming area. It's coming along pretty well. This will be spec for the plum pelmet. We are making some extract from plants. Um, I'm also planning on making a little field around here as soon as possible. Um, After the dwarves eat our loads of strawberries and tomatoes, you know. So that's the plan. The grass is getting mowed down by these goats at a phenomenal rate. Talking about the goats, we also need a milker in the next migrant wave, so we have lots of tasks that we'll need to get in order as soon as we get some migrants. Right now, we just don't have the people for that. Oh, that's sad. Zoku, our first monster slayer, has been missing. Well, let's check. She was fighting a voracious cave crawler and she just got brutally murdered. Oh wow. Well, that's not fun for her. Welp, rest in peace. Rest in peace. The Olm people are still encroaching themselves on this tree, who is growing out of water. I find that interesting. Like they're just jumping from branches to branches. It's really fun to think about. We just don't want to cross their paths because they seem a little bit dangerous. We have the dormitory being carved out at this moment. Talking about that. So, I think this would be a perfect moment to end this first episode of our fortress, Savageland of Festivals. We are still in a pretty raw state in terms of development, but I can assure you, eventually we will be crawling with dwarves of various occupation that will make sure to make this fortress the first and most glorious of the Eastern Peninsula. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Take care.